Welcome to Ismaili Gnosis Chats. This episode breaks down the article Death and Resurrection.
Ever get the feeling there's more to life than, well, just existing? Like we're meant for something bigger, you know?
Yeah.
Well, get ready, because today's deep dive is about to flip the script on how we understand life and death.
We're talking about resurrection, but not in the typical way.
Definitely not your typical graveyard stuff.
Not at all. We're going deep into Ismaili tradition here, a branch of Shia Islam known for its really rich philosophical and mystical teachings.
We're diving into an article called Death and Resurrection from Graves of Dark Bodies.
Okay, and it's by, let me see, Kayal Ali.
Right.
And it all starts with this super powerful image from the Quran.
It really grabs you.
It says, when the graves are turned upside down.
Okay, before we all start picturing zombies,
Right.
let's dig a little deeper into what this really means.
Yeah, absolutely. So the 23rd Imam, Maulana Hassan al-Adikri salam, he interprets this verse metaphorically. He's saying the graves being referred to are actually our physical bodies.
Wait, hold on. My body is a grave.
While we're still alive and kicking out.
Okay, you've got my attention.
It's a powerful image, right?
So if my body is the grave, what's buried there?
Metaphorically speaking, it's our souls.
Okay.
They're tracked by ignorance. And resurrection, in this context, it isn't about what happens after we physically die.
Got it.
It's about a spiritual awakening. And it happens while we're still living.
So it's about waking up?
Yes.
Yes.
Waking up from that tomb of ignorance while we still have the chance.
So it's less about, dodging physical death and more about waking up to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us before it's too late.
Exactly. And Kayal Ali, the author, he highlights this urgency with a hadith from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Okay.
He said, people are asleep. When they die, they are awakened. But here's the thing. There's another part to it.
There's always more to it.
Right.
Yeah.
He adds this really powerful twist. He says, woe to the one who is awakened after death, and blessed is whoever is awakened before death.
There's that sense of urgency again.
Like a wake-up call.
So how do we make sure we're part of the blessed group? How do we actually experience this awakening while we still have the chance?
That is the question, isn't it?
It's a big one.
It really is. And that's where this concept of the Qayyim-i Qiyamah comes in.
Okay.
In Ismaili belief, the Qayyim-i Qiyamah is like a guide, a spiritual leader who helps humanity awaken from its slumber.
So in this context, the Qayyim-i Qiyamah is like a spiritual alarm clock. I like that.
I like that, yeah. Helping us wake up from that haze of ignorance while we still can.
Now I'm really feeling the weight of this concept. We really do have a choice to make here.
We do. It's not about waiting around for something to happen to us.
We have a limited time to wake up.
Yes, exactly. And Imam Hassan al-Adikri salam, as the Qayyim-i Qiyamah of his time, he emphasized that this awakening is only truly transformative if it happens before death. Afterwards, it's too late. We face the consequences of our state of being, whether we chose to wake up or not.
Okay, now I'm really feeling the weight of this concept. We have a choice to make, a limited time to awaken. To dig even deeper into this idea of urgency, the article brings in the perspective of Nasir al-Din Tusi, a renowned Ismaili scholar.
Oh, yeah, Tusi. Yeah, he's fascinating. He describes this world, like the world we're living in right now, as kind of dark barrier.
A dark barrier.
Yeah, it's like this barrier between our spiritual origin, where we came from, and our ultimate destination, where we're headed. Imagine, like a dimly lit room, you know?
Okay, I can picture that.
And everyone's kind of stumbling around, half asleep. They're just bumping into things, unsure of where they're going.
It sounds a little too familiar.
Right. And TC says some people are even dead while alive, wholly unaware of their true potential.
Dead while alive. That's a powerful image. And a little unsettling, to be honest. What did Tusi mean by that? So we're stumbling around in this dark barrier, some of us even dead while alive. I'm guessing there's a way out of this metaphorical darkness.
Oh, absolutely, there is. And Tusi, he gives us a really helpful way to understand this. He talks about two different types of death.
Two types of death.
Yeah, he calls them voluntary death and natural death. Natural death is pretty straightforward, right?
It's the one we all face eventually.
Exactly. It's like antral part of life, or I guess death. But voluntary death, that's where things get interesting.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's this idea that we can actually choose to die. Not physically, obviously, but spiritually.
Die before we die.
Exactly. It's that conscious decision to wake up from that ignorance, from that slumber, while we're still alive. It's about confronting our own darkness, our own limitations, so we can truly step into the light.
So it's like hitting the reset button on our lives, even while we're still living them.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. It's about taking ownership of our spiritual growth. And that brings us to another really important question, right?
Which is,
How do we actually do that? How do we choose this voluntary death, this awakening, in a practical sense?
yeah, it's one thing to talk about it, but how do we make it real in our lives?
Right. And this is where the article brings in the insights of Allama Nasir Hunzai.
Another scholar.
Yeah, another brilliant Ismaili scholar. And Hunzai, he emphasizes the importance of actually doing something, of engaging in practices that help us cultivate a deeper connection to the divine. He specifically talks about ibadat.
Ibadat, what is that?
Yeah, it's often translated as meditation or remembrance of God. It's about quieting the mind, connecting with that inner stillness, that place of pure awareness.
So it's not just about like having a mental understanding of this concept. It's about actively engaging in practices that help us really embody it.
Exactly. Think of it like, I don't know, like building a muscle. You could read all about the benefits of exercise. Right. But until you start lifting those weights or going for those runs, you won't actually see the transformation in your physical body. It's the same with spiritual awakening. Practices like ibadat his, especially when they're guided by the wisdom of the living imam, they help us chisel away at those walls of ignorance that Tusi was talking about.
Chiseling away at those walls. Yeah, I can see that.
It's active.
It's not passive. We're not just waiting around.
Right.
So we're not just passively waiting for some grand revelation, some bolt of lightning to strike us down and make us enlightened. We're actively participating in our own awakening. We're showing up, doing the work, and seeking guidance from those who have walked the path before us.
And as we start to chip away at those walls, guess what happens?
What happens?
We start to see things differently. The world takes on a whole new meaning. We're no longer content with just existing in that dark barrier, We're actively seeking knowledge. We're engaged in this ongoing process of self-reflection, and we're striving to live a life that's aligned with our true purpose.
It's a complete transformation.
It really is.
So what does it look like when someone starts to experience this resurrection before death? What are the signs? How do we know if we're on the right track?
That's a great question. And Pir Nasir Khusraw, the Ismaili poet and philosopher, he put it this way. He said, "To know that the ignorants are like the dead, but that whoever moves from ignorance to knowledge is like a dead man who comes back to life. Such are the signs of those who follow the household of the prophet."
There's that imagery of life and death again, but this time it's not about physical death, is it?
No, not at all.
It's about this transformation that happens within us, this shift from a state of spiritual, dormancy to one of awareness and purpose and connection.
Beautifully said.
It's a powerful image. I think it really speaks to the heart of what this deep dive is all about. It strikes me that this idea of resurrection before death, it's not just some abstract concept, right?
Not at all.
It's a call to action.
Absolutely.
It's about recognizing that.
It's about taking ownership.
You have a choice to make.
Yeah. We can either sleepwalk through life, trapped in that dark barrier of ignorance,
or we can choose to awaken to our true potential.
Exactly.
And that awakening.
It's not a one-time thing.
It's not like flipping a switch.
Right.
It's an ongoing process, right?
Totally.
This journey of continuous self-discovery. Yeah, and it's a journey that...
It's about constantly questioning, seeking knowledge.
It's about doing the work.
And engaging in those practices that help us, chip away at the walls of ignorance, brick by metaphorical brick.
Brick by brick.
Exactly.
And the thing is, we don't have to go it alone on this journey.
Oh, absolutely not.
We have guidance.
We've got spiritual mentors.
We have the wisdom of these incredible scholars, like
Nasir al-Din Tusi.
Like Allama Hunzai.
And the support of our community.
It's huge.
It makes a world of difference.
Right. So we have the tools, we have the support.
We have the guidance.
And even the term itself, ibadat.
Yeah.
It's often translated as meditation or remembrance of God, but it implies a connection to something so much bigger than ourselves.
That's what it's all about.
And it's through those connections, those relationships, that we find the strength to keep moving forward.
To keep going, even when it's tough.
This deep dive has really, I think it's shifted my perspective on what it means to truly live.
In what way?
It's not just about, the number of years that we're here.
Right. It's not just about existing.
It's about the quality of awareness.
The awareness we bring to each and every moment.
And the impact we have on the world around us.
Exactly, because that's a key part of Ismaili tradition too,
Yeah.
our spiritual growth, it's not just about ourselves.
Right. It's bigger than
It's
that.
about our responsibility to serve others, to make a positive impact on the world around us,
To make the world a more just,
a more compassionate place.
So as we wrap up this incredible deep dive into resurrection before death, I want to leave our listeners with this. Okay, if our physical bodies are the graves, what will it take for you to break free? What will it take for you to experience that resurrection before death?
What steps can you take today, right now, to awaken to your full potential?
To embark on your own journey of spiritual resurrection.
It's a journey worth taking.
It definitely is.
And with that, I think we'll leave it there for today.
I think that's a good place to stop, yeah.
Let everyone sit with those questions.
Yes, lots to reflect on.
Thank you for that deep dive. It was really eye-opening.
Until next time, keep exploring
Keep questioning.
and keep diving deep.